Hello, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our live talk from the IMU University, Kuala Lumpur. Today, we are very pleased to enlighten you on the topic Beyond the Thesis, Student and Alumni Perspective in Postgraduate Journey. It is my pleasure to introduce to you three speakers that we have today and tell us in a very simple manner of what your research is all about and what actually inspire you to pursue postgraduate studies. Maybe we can start with Ms. Nur Fatiha.
Hello, hi everyone. So my name is Nur Fatihah binti Muhammad Hatta. Currently, I am on my third semester for my master's study at IMU University. So my research focuses on breast cancer, one of the most common cancers affecting women, and I am studying how the hormone estrogen influences the behavior of the breast cancer cells. Most specifically, I am studying the mitochondria, where we all know is the powerhouse of the cells. So the goal is to better understand how the breast cancer develops and hopefully contributing to find new targets for future treatments. So what have made me decided to pursue postgraduate studies and why does this research interest me is because growing up, I think I've always been curious and enjoyed, Prasha, of asking why and how these things happen. And I have always loved science. I'm always a STEM girl. I did diploma in microbiology before and then pursuing my bachelor's degree in biology as well. And then I feel like during my undergraduate study, research gives me the opportunity to solve a real world problem and potentially make a difference in people's lives. So that's why I chose breast cancer research, because I think it's a disease that affects millions of women. And I wanted my work to contribute, even in a small way, improving future treatments.
Hi, so I'm Gan. I'm currently approaching my sixth year of my PhD, and my research project is on environmental work. Basically, I'm trying to see how nanoplastics and herbicides affect microalgae, which is the phytoplankton, or you can call it phytoplankton. So I've always been curious since I was young. So research is just one of the ways that I can satisfy my curiosity towards the world, which is why I'm in science.
Okay, thank you, Gan. Dr. Go.
Hi, so you can just everyone can just call me Zoe. So currently I'm a research fellow in Monash University. So I got my PhD back in November of 2025, right, from IMU University. So around that time I was involved in investigating the therapeutic potential of vitamin E tocotrienol in breast cancer as well. So my research goal was to re-examine their anti-cancer activity, but in a different form of breast cancer, which is like a three-dimensional model, basically trying to simulate the actual tumor in the lab to the best of our ability and see how the treatment can affect the cancer. And how we study that is by studying the changes in their RNA to see if, like, maybe the vitamin E can turn off certain cancer-causing genes. So right now, I took the skills that I learned from my PhD and transferred to a slightly different field, which is in dengue, but it's also highly relevant within the local context. So I'm also studying the RNA of dengue patients. So as for what made me decide to go into this field is also because I ever since I was young, I really love STEM, especially biology. So as I was growing up, I learned a lot about all the scientific breakthroughs, like the first gene therapy and CAR T-cell immunotherapy. So I was very interested in all that. And as I was going through my undergrad journey, I eventually decided to that I want to become a researcher in health science as my way of contributing to society. So, and then I eventually figured out in order to do high-level research, it's almost impossible to do that without getting a postgraduate degree. So, which is why I decided to pursue this path and get my PhD.
Okay. Well, many people imagine that research students spend all day in the lab, right? Could you walk us through what a typical day in your life as a postgrad research student actually looks like? Maybe Fatiha can share with us?
Thank you, Prof. For me, I feel like there are no 2 days that are the same. My schedule varies depending on the stage of my research. I think before I did my postgraduate study, people always say, "Oh, it's easy to study research because you sit all day in the lab." It's not like that. You walk a lot in the lab. You walk from lab to lab. It varies on what experiments you are doing. Some days you are spending your time in laboratory conducting experiments, and there are also some days you spend time in front of the laptop analyzing data, reading scientific literatures, teach and also training students, or even meeting with supervisors. So basically, it's never the same day every day.
Looks like a very busy schedule every day that you have to go through, right? Then how do you then organize your schedule to stay productive while managing different research activities like experiment, data analysis, writing, depending on the stage of your research? So how do you organize your schedule every day?
For me, planning, Prof, I have Excel sheet, I have Notion. If you all know, Notion can also help organizing your stuff as well. So since there are many experiments following strict timelines, I plan my weekly schedule carefully to maximize productivity and also ensure that experiments can run smoothly every day. I do believe support is very important since in my postgraduate journey, I've learned that this is very important because this is actually as important as having my own determination because this cannot be done by me alone. So my family, my husband, my parents and my siblings have always encouraged me and supported me emotionally, allowing me to, always stay and focusing on my goals. And then in IMU itself, I am equally fortunate lah because I received the same incredible support system. So my supervisor has always been understanding and encouraging, and then my fellow postgraduate colleagues have always been supportive and also helpful if I want to ask any questions. I feel like in IMU, they are always a one Teams message or one WhatsApp message away if you need anything. So yes, I do believe support system is very important.
So moving on to the next question. We all know that research is rarely a straight path, right? So can you share any unexpected challenge that you faced in your project and how you worked through it? This could be related to anything, your methodology, maybe during the data collection, or maybe something else entirely different. All right. So maybe we hear from Dr. Zoe.
Yeah, sure. So I think I can speak for most people here that the most challenging part of research would be the methodology. So sometimes you stuck at a certain part, and then it takes months and months for you to troubleshoot and optimize. So it's not entirely unusual to be working on the same methods for a long time. For many reasons, it's maybe not because of your personal ability. It could be that no one was there to teach you. Something else is happening beyond your control. So during my PhD, that happened to me as well. Like for months, I was stuck at a very, very crucial point of the research because of this one method. So what I did at the point was to ask for advice from technical experts, like or online research community, getting advice from friends, and even the lab staff, right? Support from IMU as well to get a different perspective on how I can troubleshoot all this. And I would say that at the point I was like quite devastated because I thought like, well, if a method doesn't work, it's proof that I wasn't good enough as a researcher. But actually the ability to perform a method perfectly, it doesn't prove much as for your ability, right? It's how you adapt to the challenges and failures that defines your ability as a researcher. So slowly but surely, we were able to troubleshoot it by adapting. I would say that this like process of like feeling adapting is like a very crucial training for me, right, throughout the postgraduate journey, right? So that's my point.
So let's move on to the next question. Expectations versus the reality of being a research student. How different is it from what you expected or people's expectation on you? Maybe Dr. Zoe can help us with this.
Sure. I would say for speaking for my own, right, my expectation before going into the study, I had certain expectation that it would take a long time to complete it, especially for PhD, it's going to be very, very heavy, like at least 3 years. And I was aware that the project itself would take 3 years to complete. And I thought like, oh, 3 years is a long time, but in order to do good science, that's what it takes. And if I work hard, then surely I can finish it in 3 years, right? But that was a very unrealistic expectation, as it turns out. Like in reality, research always takes much longer than you would expect, right? Sometimes, again, for reasons that are beyond your control. So this reality really hits me right hard as time goes on and gets closer and closer to the 3rd year mark. And I was quite behind schedule. And another hard part was for me was to manage family expectation because they also didn't really understand, oh, why is research taking such a long time? If you're not in the science field, perhaps you can relate. Someone else, they might not understand. So having a good support system for me, like from my supervisors and even my peers who are in the same field, in the same boat, that could understand the situation, really helped me to get through the tough times, and it really made the journey much less stressful for me.
Right. How about you, Gan? What is your expectation versus what you face in reality?
I mean, I came in with, I would say, a pretty clear expectation of what being a research student means and what it entails, basically. All of the stresses, all of the deadlines, all of the failures as well. But no matter what I expected, uh, when it hits, it still hit hard. So I guess my advice would be to just take whatever challenges that comes one step at a time. And as for it's really what you expect of yourselves and what how you view yourself as a person. I rarely bother with the expectations of people because nobody else knows what you're going through the best other than you.
That's very true. Yeah. What about you, Fatiha?
For me, when I see postgraduate, right, I see it like, oh, you need to be the smartest one in the room, you know. But then when once you are in, actually you can be you can be the most clueless person in the room, and that is okay, you know, because because everyone is learning. And in IMU, nobody makes you feel dumb or makes you feel stupid because there's always an area for you to learn or for you to grow. Because I still remember because I when I first entered we have a research talk, and I entered Dr. Zoe's section at that time. And because I was so clueless, I asked her a lot of questions without knowing that it was actually challenging to answer the questions as well. And then I feel like that time, you know, being not knowing things, it's okay as long as you want to learn. Yeah.
So for those who are considering a research degree, okay, what is that one expectation that they should let go of before they start? You know, sometimes we thought, okay, everything's going to be perfect, everything's going to be smooth, everything is going to be fine. But once they are in, once they step their foot into the postgrad journey, then the reality hits. Okay, so for those of them who are considering a full research degree, so what is that one expectation that they should just let go before they even start? Probably, Dr. Zoe or also Mr. Gunn can also answer. Any one of you. You've got lots of experience, you've got lots of expectation before you come in.
I know there's a lot of perfectionists in STEM, studying life sciences, studying like biology. There's a lot of perfectionists, and particularly those who are interested to become scientists, they think that everything's going to be perfect. Let go of that perfectionism. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
Perfectionism just doesn't work when you're trying to solve your own problems, your optimizing stuff. Things will go wrong, expect things to go wrong, and just try your best and fix them.
And we should allow mistakes.
Yep, exactly.
We learn from mistakes. Do you agree with
Yes.
that, Dr. Zoe?
Yes, I 100% agree, right? So, right, so I'm sure that everyone that choose to go into postgrad, they have like a certain expectation of themselves that, I don't know,
For flat, 4.0.
yeah, exactly. Like in biology, I was the top of the class. All right, once I get into this, it's going to be smooth sailing. But in reality, that's not always the case. And it's not supposed to be smooth sailing. That's the point of the, postgrad researcher is supposed to be doing original research, something that no one else in the world has done before. So it's supposed to be difficult. So I would say like agree with Gun to let go of that mindset that everything will go well at the first try. And once you have that mindset, like you find that it's much less stressful and much more enjoyable to do postgrad degree.
Okay, thank you. So many prospective students are actually very excited about pursuing into masters or even PhD, but at the same time, they are also very anxious about taking that very first step. So looking back, what was your biggest fear before you started your postgrad journey? Or did you have that fear? I'm sure everybody does, right? Before we take any step forward, there's a lot of questions coming through our head, at the back of our head, right? So what is your biggest fear before you started your postgrad journey? Zoe, Dr. Zoe?
Yeah. So for me, my biggest fear was like fear of the probably unknown, and also fear that you might be less capable than the others, right? Especially in the very, very beginning. What happened would be like I'll be quite anxious that when I encounter something that I'm not really sure, like I did not immediately understand a certain method, or this very important but very, very niche thing about the project that I've not come across before, right? So I would think that maybe I'm not well equipped enough to do this, like compared to someone else that who I assume would be more capable, right? So still that's part of the process, and eventually you learn to find the right answer as you do this postgrad degree. So it helped personally, like as I go through like year one, I still don't know a lot of stuff. Year two, I realize I have more stuff that I don't know. And year three, I slowly figure out there are ways to find the answers. And how I do it is by reading papers. And the more you read, the better your ability is to find those answers. So that's my biggest fear, and yeah.
Right. Thank you. Very good sharing. So once you all have decided to pursue your postgrad studies, actually, what made you choose IMU?
For me,
Yeah,
personally,
Dr. Zoe, yes, please.
I was in IMU for my undergrad, so I did my final year project there. So I was very, very well familiar with the environment. And because I was doing my final year project, I was heavily involved in doing cell culture, and that's how got to know that the facilities is very good. It's very well maintained, and was familiar with the people there, and they have been very, very helpful. So having that access to good infrastructure and also experienced mentor really made a huge difference in my choice. So it allowed me, as I go into IMU to do this PhD, right, give me a lot of save me a lot of energy and allow me to focus on my project rather than worrying about whether I had the resources I need, because I already know it's there. So that's why I chose IMU.
So really, we can see that a postgrad degree is much more than just completing research project, right? So how has your postgraduate journey helped you grow both technically and also personally? Yeah,
For me, it's a humbling experience because no other, I wouldn't say that, but the failures and the mistakes that I've experienced throughout this program is much more than all the previous years combined. So being able to learn from all these mistakes is definitely a humbling experience. It really opens up how you view yourself and how you view your interactions with other people.
A last one from Dr. Zoe. Well, looking back on your postgrad journey, what is that one piece of advice you would give to someone who is considering applying for a master's or PhD?
Okay. So, looking back, I would suggest to prospective students, right, to be aware that the biggest challenge that you might face might come from misalignment of expectation and reality. So that can create a lot of anxiety and dissatisfaction. And unfortunately, there's no perfect way to anticipate what's going to happen, but there are ways for you to bridge the gap. So first thing is by attending a webinar like this, right? So you can hear from students, alumni to get a better picture of the reality. So that can help you to align your expectation. And second thing is to really do your research on prospective projects and supervisors. So you can do this by, again, attending webinars or even reaching out to existing students of alumni of the project that you're interested in. So you can even research the portfolio of the supervisors to see if their field aligns with your interest, right? The stuff that you want to do. So see for yourself and assess whether that is the right fit for you. So my biggest piece of advice is to do proper preparation before you join.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Dr. Zoe. We have two questions in the chat box. So I guess I would like to thank Ms. Nur Fatiha, Mr. Gan Wen Chong, and also Dr. Goh Wan Sin for joining us today as the panelists of the forum. All right. That was very inspiring, and also it's good that you shared your honest experience with all the audience. I think one of the message that has come through very clearly throughout the discussion is that a postgrad journey is not just about having all the answers from the beginning. It's also about being curious enough to ask questions, resilient enough to overcome setbacks, and open enough to keep learning. So that is the main three messages that we would like to let everyone know. And we have heard that research is rarely a straight path. Experiments may fail, timeliness may change, and life itself can present unexpected challenges. Yet, these experiences are often what shape us into a better researcher, better problem solver, and better individuals. Okay, so on behalf of IMU, I would like to sincerely thank our panelists again for their openness and also for their valuable insights. And thank all of you for joining us today. We really hope that this session has inspired you to take the next step in your postgraduate journey with confidence. We look forward to welcoming you, all of you, to the IMU postgraduate community in the future. Well, thank you, everyone, and have a wonderful evening.